I am standing beside the hottest prospect in free agency in MMA today, Mr. Paul Big News Hughes, who's after coming off an emphatic first round KO here in Dublin yet again. Paul, how does it feel?
Feels damn good. That's two first round KOs in a row. Hottest prospect in the world of MMA, just turned hottest free agent in all of MMA, so it feels good, man. Yeah.
You seem like you're walking on air right now. I asked you before the fight, does it feel like you have that freedom of free agency? And you said no. Do you feel that now?
You know what? I've just been going and seeing everybody. I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, I definitely had to be tuned in this week and fight day. It's all good to do the speculation and to chat to everybody about the possibilities because it's so goddamn exciting. And honestly, Andy, the last 6 months since after that Quay Higgins fight, this is all my mind has been focused on, is the possibilities of where my career can go next. You know, because after the last fight, there may have been some talks and offers from different places that were something I never knew that I could, a possibility that I never thought that I could have a look at before. You know, an avenue of making money in this game, an avenue of going somewhere. And the last 6 months, I have just been doing a deep dive into, honestly, everything from the MMA industry as a complete whole to Paul Hughes, and what does Paul Hughes want from his career? What does Paul Hughes want from the next 5 years? Truly, does Paul Hughes want to be just, is it fame that I'm looking for? Is it money that I'm looking for? What is it that Paul Hughes wants to be satisfied with in 5 years' time when he's finished with this game? And I had to do a deep dive, and it's all that I've been thinking about in the last 6 months is the possibilities and the avenues of what to do. I've had to think 2 steps ahead. I've had to think 5 steps ahead. I want to make sure that I know I'm going on here, but I wanted to make sure I had absolutely no blind spots with the next steps. And I had one more fight here, so I was like, right, let's do this one more fight. I didn't talk to anybody this year, no promotions outside of this. I said, okay, I've got one fight left in the deal. Obviously, I would have liked to fight earlier in the year, but Dublin, they got to put me on Dublin. So I thought, right, let's hang this out. Let's go to April. Let's put in a camp. Let's get an opponent. Not for a belt. Let's not get tied into any longer contracts. Let's fight the last fight in this deal, and let's see what the world presents to me. And here we are, another first round KO, 2 in a row now. People were saying before that, Paul Hughes doesn't finish fights. Shut the fuck up, yeah. Fuck me. I mean, Paul Hughes doesn't finish fights. What the fuck, man.
You obviously had a number of changes of opponents, but in the end it was Fabiano Silva. I'm going to steal something here from the great P.T. Carroll. What he was saying, we were out there watching it, is, you know, this guy has 50 fights. Yeah. He can stall here. He can make this very difficult. And it was actually a bit of more of a... Yeah.
At that first knee I hit him, I swear to God, I've never kneed somebody so hard in my life, and my knee is aching right now. How he didn't just go down then was unbelievable. Now, the second knee that I caught him in the cage where it's actually dropped him, like that one landed so flush where he was just like, when you get hit one of these shots, it completely disorientates your mind. I hit him a punch after, and when your mind goes to that spot where you're that disoriented, all you can do is literally cover up. And I think he just dropped to the ground, because if he had stayed standing, I would have probably hit him another knee. And he was like, I need to get out of the way of wherever this damage is coming from. But even on the ground, he started moving and shrimping and attacking. I was like, I'm not going to get this guy out of here at all. I remember Pat showed at 1 minute left, and I'm like, okay, this could be 3 rounds. This guy, I've literally hit him 2 clean knees in the head. Then I hit him an elbow, and I seen the hands come up again. He was still disorientated, you know, and then I just go, right, just rain down. It's funny because when I was doing ground and pound drills the last couple of weeks, I kind of thought to myself, I could be in these positions where I need to just punch an elbow really, really hard 7 or 8 times, and that could be enough. And that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, got him out of there. The man's barely been finished, so I'm happy to get an hour finish myself.
Obviously, this is the closing of a chapter in your career, but it's been an amazing one. Obviously, picking up the title, the interim unifying, the Vucenic fights, yeah. 2 of them, the Charrier one. Yeah. How do you reflect on it all now that it's all said and done?
With so much happiness, mate. I mean, Cage Warriors have built my career. I have had so many big nights with them. I mean, the Charrier night, probably maybe the biggest, because it was the first time I got a world title wrapped around my waist, 24 years old. Back from a 2 years injury layoff, crazy atmosphere, like nothing I've still ever experienced. Nights like that, nights like the unification against Jordan, nights like being back on home soil here in Dublin, I mean, what a journey I've had in Cage Warriors. Like, you know, it was actually very serendipitous this week with the opponent changes, because my debut on Cage Warriors, we went through 12 opponents in a few weeks. Ian Dean losing his mind trying to get me on that unplugged card. It was the Tuesday of fight week. Ian Dean got me a fight. Now, it was around the same weight as this. I think it was maybe 165 pounds. On the Tuesday night, fought some big Polish dude. Flew out on the Wednesday. The same thing ended up happening at the very end of my Cage Warriors career. So many opponent changes, 4 in 1 week, and it got to the Tuesday, and we got another guy that said yes, and it was around like this high catch weight. It was very serendipitous thing that happened. Shout out to Ian Dean. Absolutely, genuinely love that man to the core. He's just such a special guy. Our whole team absolutely love him, and he could have easily not had me in this card after all the weeks of opponent change, and he got me on there, and I had the ability to go out there and perform tonight. So I honestly owe Ian Dean and Cage Warrior so much.
How special is a night like this? Obviously, the gym going 3-0 with Scott and Matt, but then also a guy like James Sheehan. I know you have a lot of respect for picking up the Cage Warriors welterweight title in a barn burner.
Unbelievable. I mean, first of all, Matthew Elliott coming back, showing his improvements after his last couple of fights, were more grappling orientated. You seen him hitting them good shots and then engaging in the clinch and then just breaking off and going back to the striking. Really developed his game. Great win for him. We all know how good he is. Then you had Scott Harvey. I mean, Scott's my guy. Scott has been giving me the hardest round in the gym for years, so I'm so happy that he's got his opportunity in Cage Warriors now. Had a great fight, probably fight of the night, I would say, maybe Jamesy as well. So I'm so happy for them guys, and I'm happy for Pat and Shando, because Pat and Shando put so much into everybody, and they put so much into the likes of Matt and Scott, that I'm happy for them too, because these guys give their life to this game, and for the boys to get their opportunities and to come out and show their skills and show what the lads have been teaching them, I'm happy for them too, you know. And then, James Sheehan.
Yeah.
James Sheehan, I mean, what a war. The optics of the end of the fight there, where he just finished the guy's unconscious, whatever, blood all over him. James just stands up and he's got the blood all over the face. I mean, me and James have shared so many cards together on Cage Warriors. Such a humble, nice, genuine, good Irish lad, like someone I just fucking love to see doing well. Even all my best mates there, they're always in my fights, and James is always fighting, and they're all like so happy for him, you know. And to see him get the actual belt around his waist, I know how that feels to get that around your waist for the first time. It's truly something you'll go to the grave with, and he honestly doesn't deserve it more. I'm so happy for him and for Team Rhino.
You said you spent a lot of time thinking about what does Paul Hughes want out of life, out of the career. Yeah. What do you want?
What does Paul Hughes want? Paul, I'll tell you what he doesn't want. He doesn't want to finish his fighting career with no money in the bank and a lot of brain damage. That's what he doesn't want. So I'm going to do my best to avoid that.
We spoke about Ryan Curtis, but when you have something happen in your gym to a fellow fighter, do you have a conversation in your head to look at your own place in the sport and the fact that you're participating in a sport that is very dangerous, and you know you do need to make a bit of money in this?
Yeah, Ryan, what happened to Ryan? I was there that night. I was there when it happened. He got injured. I was with him until the ambulance came. Me and Pat McAllister waited. The ambulance probably took an hour and a half, 2 hours in a cold gym. We were sitting to 11 p.m. at night on a Thursday night. You know, so I was there with Ryan when that happened, and that was another thing that made me really assess, like, first of all, do I even want to keep fighting MMA after seeing what this can do? Now, obviously, we know the risks, but when it happens so close to home, it's like, you know, man, Ryan's got a fucking family, man. Like, he's the nicest guy ever. Literally, when I was with him a few days ago, he was like telling me the story of when it happened. He was like thinking to himself, but why does it have to be me this happens to? You know, it can happen, but why me? Like, I'm lying here now, why me? So that had a massive effect on me, and it really made me assess what I want. And it made me even more solidified on my thinking now, which is make money, have something to show for yourself in this game. Because, as I said, I don't want to be finishing this game with a load of brain damage and no money. That's the last thing I want.
Do you have an ideal scenario for what happens next, which promotion you end up next? And what is your message to any promotion out there looking at Paul Hughes tonight?
Look, it's the same as I was talking about before this fight. I'll talk to everybody, you know. Obviously, I mean, UFC is the premier promotion in the world. UFC can change your life overnight, literally in one day. But then you have so many other good promotions that are doing amazing things. PFL obviously acquired Bellator there, which is very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where their trajectory in the next couple of years. It could be absolutely huge if they play their cards right, you know. And obviously you can make initially a lot more money in places like that. So there's pros and cons to everything. I'll talk to everybody, weigh it up. I'll not have any blind spots. I'll tell you that. I will not have any blind spots. It won't be an emotional decision. This is all the deep work that I've been talking about in the industry. I'll talk to everybody. I'll get everybody's opinion on each promotion, and I'll assess from there. There's no rush. I ain't got no rush. I've got my manager, Tim Simpson, the best in the game, on my side. I've got my team on my side, and we're going to do what's best for us. So we'll see. So to answer your question in short, I'm completely open to everything. Like, truly, I am a true free agent.
Yeah.
Like, I can talk to anybody. How unbelievable is that? How many fighters get to do that? Not many, because my last fight, I was still under Cage Warrior, so the only place you can go is the UFC. But then they've all the leverage and give you a shitty contract. Fuck that. I'm not doing no shitty contracts. Look at what I can do. Look at the value that I bring to this game. If I ain't getting my value, I'll fucking quicker retire. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm here now to progress and to have something to show for myself.
I promise we're almost done. Almost done. Yeah, I think you just broke some news there. You've signed with Tim Simpson, chosen few.
I have time. I don't even know if we kind of said we were going to keep it under wraps, but it's already too late. Yes, I'm working with Tim Simpson now. The best in the game. I've had such a good relationship with Tim for probably over 3 years now. Amazing guy, and just the main man. Like, you know, he's in my corner now, so awesome.
Last question. You talked about other promotions outside of the UFC there. They've been coming to Ireland a lot, but we've typically just seen SPG fighters on these shows. What kind of an impact can someone like you and the rest of the lads in FAI, but obviously you're the free agent here, can have on these type of Irish shows where you've got worldwide organisations coming to Ireland and pulling in crowds?
Well, look, I'm the best in the world and I can change everything. I can change everything they're doing. Truly, I'm the best in the world. I'm marketable. I bring a lot of value. I'm a superstar, man. I'm a fucking superstar. How many times did I got to prove it? You know? Yeah.
Paul, I can't thank you enough. Appreciate the time.
You,
Congratulations.
yeah,
All the best with what's next.